Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. And during this last 7 days, we dealt with a pending storm system that moved through the region last weekend, brought a mixture of freezing rain, and snow to the state. The more significant accumulations in the northern portion of the state, particularly northeast Nebraska. Some more significant ice accumulations across portions of east central southeast Nebraska. Then we've seen that general warming trend during the middle of the week. We finally busted the 70-degree mark across a lot of south central, southwest Nebraska, and upper 60s across portions of southeast Nebraska. First really nice warm weather that eastern Nebraska has seen in quite a while. And then we've seen this general cool down with that storm coming out of the western United States in pieces. The first piece of energy came out on Thursday, brought some inclement weather to the northern part of the state in the form of accumulating snowfall in the northwest and a mixture of snow, freezing rain, and rain mix as you got into southeastern Nebraska. Now we got a little respite before the next system pulls through later this weekend, and before we get to that main model forecast, I want to bring you up to date on the latest seasonal forecast and monthly forecast. So as we go to the maps, the one thing we will draw your attention to on the monthly forecast preliminarily is that cold conditions across the northern plains looks like it's going to continue. Nebraska sits right in that EC zone, making equal chances. And as we go to the south, of course, dealing with the above normal temperatures. That's been a predominant feature this entire winter. In terms of precipitation, do show most of the Dakotas showing above normal moisture, as well as the eastern Corn Belt. So we should see some additional relief for the drought areas and the long-term drought areas of the Dakotas. Unfortunately, this drier than normal trend does not point well to the extreme southern Rockies, where we're dealing with some low snowpack levels. Take out the 3-month forecast. This takes us through the months of April, May, and June, so the first real warm month of our growing season. And we see above normal temperatures included all of the southern half of the Rockies, which is a small area of above or below normal temperatures in the northern Rockies. In terms of precipitation, once again, widespread above normal moisture across the Great Lakes and well below normal moisture from Texas northwest into southern Oregon. So this would include most of the central and southern Rockies regions, and this would be on the very southern extreme of the area that feeds the Platte River Basin. We do not want to see this verified. We need to see some additional moisture in the Rocky Mountains to feel comfortable going into this growing season, that we can keep that drought confined to the southern plains. So as we look into this next 24-hour period, of course, we got this big storm that's coming on shore, just like we seen last weekend, and the first piece of energy moved out, caught up with the trough over the eastern United States, and that system kind of petered out, but the next piece of energy will be coming out. We do have surface lows showing up along the front range of the Rocky Mountains, but we don't have any moisture with us. All the moisture is with the upper level support to the west, and a little bit of that moisture residual left over in the eastern Corn Belt from the system that passed through earlier this week. Now, that trough deepens, surface low well to the north of it. That's going to pull a lot of moisture up and around this low pressure system at the surface. So we should see some fairly wide precipitation breaking out across the region. We do see some moisture showing for the southern Rockies. It doesn't look that impressive. And then this storm system moves into the southeastern United States, heavy precipitation, and that wraparound will actually produce some pretty significant moisture across portions of eastern Nebraska with potential snow accumulations. As it emerges in with that colder air mass, we'll see that rainfall make it to the surface, and then that system will start to move its way to the eastern United States on Tuesday. We will start to see a ridging pattern build back in. Not as warm as last week, but certainly we will see a warming trend during the middle part of the week. A little bit of light snow up in the Dakotas possible, but the heavy precipitation along the eastern seaboard, and that will be the next northeastern storm as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. This big trough will project a low at the surface up the eastern seaboard, and once again we are dealing with another significant snowmaker in this region. High and dry the center part of the country. Yet another system looks like it's going to come on board on Wednesday and Thursday in the western United States, and some of that energy will start to make its way toward the southern plains, particularly as we get into late Thursday with surface low pressure indicated over southeastern Colorado, but the most heaviest precipitation still remains confined to the western United States. We get into Friday, that trough starts to lift toward the northeast, so it's going to miss the southern plains, unfortunately. Low pressure will direct that energy up toward the Dakotas, and that's where we will see the more significant moisture as it's pulled a long way. The heaviest precipitation northeast Nebraska and points to the north. Now as we look at the 8 to 14 day forecast from next Thursday through the following Tuesday, cool conditions across the northern half of the country, warm to the south. In terms of precipitation, well above normal moisture across the vast majority of the United States.